Morning folks, so welcome to Learn Law with Hannah. This week is week 31 in the Lucy Letby trial. Now I've got plenty of notes because it feels like it's been a big week in court this week. So it's the cross-examination of Letby. So the KC for the prosecution is disputing the evidence that she has given in court. And remember, he has to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that she is guilty of the counts of murder and attempted murder. Okay, so first of all, Letby denied that she was having an affair with one of the doctors, or that she even had a crush on this doctor. She'd messaged her colleagues and said that she'd had a strange message from him about going commando. Now, the KC asked her if she knew what this meant, and Letby said no, and he asked her again. He actually asked her 3 times in total. So for most of you, you'd probably think going commando, the way I think of it is it's an expression that means not wearing any underwear. And the KC said, oh, is this an army reference because of where you live? So they must have lived close to an army base. And yeah, she kept insisting she didn't know what it meant. So that's interesting, because would someone young know what that meant? I mean, I do. I don't know if you do. Let me know. She also texted a friend who had commented on the fact that she thought he liked her, that she certainly, quote, I certainly don't fancy him. So interesting that they're bringing that up. Casey then talked about child N and said that Letby, or alleged that Letby, had thrust something into child N's mouth and then tried to blame the haemophilia. They then talked about the fact, and this was really interesting actually, they talked about the fact that the doctor, the one that the KC was asking whether he was her boyfriend or they were having an affair, gave evidence in court in February. Now, at the time, Letby was in tears when he gave evidence in court and wanted to leave the courtroom. And the KC said, "You didn't like hearing your boyfriend give evidence, did you?" And Letby again denied that it was her boyfriend and that she felt unwell, and that was not the reason. She wasn't crying because he was in court, she just felt unwell. So interesting, very interesting, I thought. She also denied going through bins for medical notes. She had a shredder at home, which I think many people do, I don't know, for bank statements. And she said what happened was that she would put like the notes in her uniform when she left work, and she would go home with them, and then she'd separate it out. She'd start shredding the bank statements and things like that, but not the medical notes. Again, more focus on child N. And yeah, she went into room 3 not to see child N but to see the nurse, and Letby was in the doorway when the alarm went off. Letby said that she wasn't happy that another nurse didn't know how to make up the medication. And she was also messaging, she was texting quite a lot, which I'm not really sure what the rules are with medical staff and mobile phones. I mean, if someone can comment, that would be great, thank you. She also co-signed the bag of nutrients for one of the children, and again denied putting insulin. So this was interesting. She said that yes, they had too much insulin to child F, and they were dotting about all over the place with different victims here, but child F, that she co-signed the bag of nutrients, there was insulin in it, but she was not the one who put it in there. And the other nurse, Letby was one of 2 nurses on, so it's got to be one of them. Then on Friday, she again denied an affair with a married man, said she felt isolated after changing role, but the court presented lots of evidence of text messages and said you weren't isolated. She went to London with this married man, denied that he was her boyfriend, and the KC said you sabotaged these children's health on purpose to get his attention. He said, you are a murderer, you are a liar. Letby told the jury that she was arrested in her pajamas, but then there's video evidence of her coming out in her tracksuit, and the KC is like, you are telling lies to get sympathy, you are telling lies to get attention, you have plenty of attention now, you are attention seeking. And Letby remained silent in court. The KC said, you cover your tracks by reporting problems with the equipment, so it looks like it's the equipment and not you. You wrote to all 3 triplets because you were planning on killing the 3rd triplet. So when you talked about their birthday, made a note of their birthdays and how you wish they were still there, it was because you were planning on the death of the 3rd triplet. So I think it was a really interesting week in court this week. There's a lot of evidence. The married man, was she having an affair? Equally, if she was having an affair, it doesn't mean that she's a murderer or even attempted to murder these children. Let me know what you think. I will withhold comments because contempt of court and I just need to double check them, but I will try and reply. So I'd be really interested to know your thoughts. Feel like the KC has done a good job of the cross-examination, as you would expect from a King's Counsel barrister. But it's really interesting. So I think the cross-examination of Letby is over, so the defence may call other witnesses. So next week is going to be interesting. I presume they will call other witnesses, but you never know. So thanks for tuning in. If you could subscribe and hit like, I'd be very, very grateful.